Hey guys, today I am excited because we're going to be talking about HomeKit Secure Video and we're reviewing the new Eve Cam. Now this is a secure indoor camera built from the ground up to protect your privacy and work with HomeKit Secure Video. So be sure to stick around to the end of this video to hear my thoughts on this camera as well as how it relates and compares to other similar cameras such as the Circle View and determine whether or not this would be a worthy addition to your HomeKit setup. Let's go. Yo, what's going on guys? Thanks so much for joining me again this week. And for those new here, my name is Shane and on this channel I am building an easy smart home using HomeKit. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe, click the bell icon so you don't miss when we post new HomeKit videos every Sunday right here. So as I mentioned, today we're talking about the new Eve Cam. This camera currently comes in at around $150 US and is available now for purchase. I'll put an affiliate link in the description below in case you decide this is something you might want to purchase for your setup. Now full disclosure, Eve did send me this camera here for free so that I could review it on the channel, but rest assured I'm going to give you my honest opinions and feedback after I have set this up and used it for a little while in my own home. Now as I said, this camera is built exclusively for HomeKit and HomeKit Secure Video. If you're still a little unsure regarding what HomeKit Secure Video is, I did make a video a while back going into the detail and all the features included and what it's all about, requirements and all that. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out that video for more info. But in a nutshell, to get the most of this camera, you're going to need a HomeKit hub, whether that's an iPad, a HomePod, or an Apple TV, as well as an iCloud account, either the 200 gigabyte or the 2 terabyte plan. Now camera recordings do not count against your iCloud storage limit, and camera recordings are saved for 10 days and then automatically deleted. Now I really like the Eve products and Eve as a brand because they place a high priority on privacy with all their products, and this camera here is no exception. They claim this camera was built from the ground up to protect your privacy and that it was designed exclusively for HomeKit Secure Video. And if you've watched my videos in the past, you guys know I am a fan of HomeKit Secure Video. So about this camera, it features a 1080p camera resolution with 24 frames per second recording, 150-degree field of view. It connects via 2.4 or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It has two-way communication with a built-in speaker and microphone, flexible installation and mounting options with a magnetic base, night vision up to 16.4 feet, an LED status light. Now this camera does not have any local storage options and cannot perform continuous recording, so it does work exclusively with HomeKit Secure Video and is pretty much kind of limited to those features of Apple's HomeKit Secure Video. So let's take a look. Starting with the box, we've got that clean, nice package that we've seen with the other Eve products. They emphasize their focus on privacy right on the box, claiming no Eve Cloud, no registration, and no profiling with 100% privacy. Now, if we open this up, we'll find the Getting Started guide with the HomeKit code very visible. Here we have the all black camera. It has a pretty large speaker on the back here. It has this nice silicone base on the bottom, and you can see that HomeKit code is also available here. It is all plastic, but it feels pretty solid and seems to be built well. Now, if we look in the box, we'll find various plug connections for different regions. Our micro USB cable, which is 7.2 feet long, as well as a metal plate for installation on a wall or ceiling. We also have our comment card and safety instructions as usual. Now I'm going to use the North American plug connector, connect the micro USB cable to the camera, and get this camera plugged in. So that's everything in the box. Now I'm going to show you the setup process real quick and show you what this camera can do. Now it's worth noting that you can use only the Apple Home app if you want to set this camera up. You don't have to use the Eve app. I'm going to use the Eve app. I actually really like the Eve app. I usually recommend it to other people. It's a great free HomeKit app just for any HomeKit user for advanced automations and other things, even if you don't have any Eve products. But I also recommend usually installing the manufacturer's app if it applies, just so you can get firmware updates and things like that to your devices. Anyways, moving on. First, let's open up the Eve app. We'll go to the settings and choose accessories. Then tap the add icon. Now we'll scan our HomeKit code, which again can be found on the bottom of the camera or on that quick start guide. The camera's light starts to flash, and after about 20 or 30 seconds, it turns solid as the camera connects. We are immediately prompted with streaming and recording options through HomeKit. You can choose how to record and stream when you are home and when you are away. Your options here are going to be off, which disables the camera completely, detect activity, which allows you to still take advantage of the motion sensor for automations and stuff. You can stream only, or you can stream and allow recording. And like I said, you can change those settings for both home and away. If we tap next, we can choose who in our home can stream and view recordings. Next, we can rename our HomeKit accessories, being that camera itself and the motion sensor. Choose the room and add the camera as a favorite if you wish. Choose done, and we're all set. Now, one really cool thing about using the Eve app to set up new HomeKit accessories is it gives you the option to add them to the HomePass app if you have that installed. HomePass is a great app for storing all of your HomeKit codes. You can see Eve pulled over all the information from the camera, and now I just need to scan the code to save it in the HomePass app. Once you hit save, it jumps you right back into the Eve app. That's something I really like because I do like using that HomePass app to save and kind of organize all of my HomeKit accessories and codes. Now I'll choose done and go into my camera to check it out. Here we go, we have our live stream. We can go full screen. Unfortunately, HomeKit doesn't allow for third-party manufacturers to access stored recordings, so we cannot see our saved recordings in the Eve app. We're gonna have to go to the Home app for that. You can find settings for the microphone and speaker in the bottom right. And here we have our microphone button that we can actually press and hold to speak through the camera. So this is great for that two-way communication. You can see your motion events here. We can find our camera settings here. And as you can see, there is a firmware update available. Below, you'll see settings for the camera's sensitivity to motion. Next, you'll see duration, which is pretty nice. This is actually the amount of time that will be reported as active after motion is detected. You can also access the quick start guide from the app. Small little touches like this are some of the things that really sets Eve apart in my mind. Now let's go ahead and run that firmware update. I like to see these when I add new accessories to my setup because that means that the manufacturer is trying to fix bugs and steadily improve their products. Now real quick, we'll jump back into the Home app and show you a few more things. As with any HomeKit camera that supports it, we can turn off and on the microphone and speaker here to communicate through the camera. If we tap settings here, we can change our notification settings for the camera. Again, here is our streaming and recording options as before, and underneath we'll see recording options that allows us to choose when the camera records, whether it's for any motion or only specific motions such as people, animals, or vehicles. And also we can choose whether or not we want to record audio. If we go back, we can toggle on or off that camera status light as well as the night vision light. Now I set this camera up using the current iOS 13 on the iPhone. Coming soon is iOS 14 in the fall. Once iOS 14 comes, that onboarding process may look a little bit different, and we're also going to have some new features for HomeKit Secure Video, some that I'm really excited about, such as motion zones. So if you're running the beta of iOS 14, you'll already see these motion zones that you can set up in the Home app, and also you have the facial recognition. So these are great features that you can expect once iOS 14 rolls out, and features that are just going to make HomeKit Secure Video cameras like the Eve camera even more capable. So how does this camera perform day to day after using it for a little while? The picture quality seems very good. Night vision is okay. You can see here I have it placed in a pretty large room, and it does a good job of seeing everything in low light. You can also see that field of vision is allowing me to see a very large space here with that 150-degree field of view. So I love the privacy settings that I get with HomeKit Secure Video with this camera. For example, I have this camera set now just to completely stop streaming and recording when I arrive home, so I don't have to worry about anything being recorded or streamed when I'm at home in my house. So that's great for indoor cameras. At the same time, I can stream and record when I'm away, which is just great. great. And I also have that two-way communication that I can use. You know, if I want to talk with my kids or something easily, I can easily communicate with them through this camera. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, this camera is very similar to that Circle View camera that I recently reviewed also here on the channel. So how do they compare? So first of all, the price is very similar. The Circle View camera is for indoors or outdoors, whereas the Eve Cam is only for indoors. They both were built exclusively for HomeKit Secure video, and neither one of them features any local storage options. The Circle View can only connect to 2.4 gigahertz network, whereas the Eve camera can connect to 2.4 or 5 gigahertz networks. They're both built really well, but that Circle View definitely feels a little bit more sturdy since it has that all metal base. Small thing to note is the Eve Cam actually has a black cord and a black camera, and I'm not sure why the Circle View camera has a white cord with a black camera. I've always thought that was a little bit strange. Also, the Circle View's cable cannot be disconnected at all, whereas the Eve camera cable uses that micro USB cable that you can disconnect. That magnetic base on the Eve camera probably makes installation a little bit easier for the Eve camera, especially since you can also detach that cable on the back there. I would say installation is going to be a little bit easier for the Eve camera. They both record in 1080p. I think the image quality is very close. I might have to give this one to the Circle View, but again, it's so close it's really hard to tell. The Circle View camera does give you a slightly larger field of view with that 180-degree lens, whereas the Eve camera is just a 150-degree lens. But as I said, that's still very large. As you can see in my living room there, you can see the kitchen, living room, you can see that whole area. The Circle View exposes the camera, the motion sensor, and a light sensor to HomeKit, whereas this Eve Cam only exposes the camera and the motion sensor. Aside from those things, probably the biggest difference is the Circle View camera has that manual shutoff button. Now, this is designed to be a privacy feature where you can just manually turn off the camera and recording and streaming and everything just with that manual button. I know some people may like this feature. I also know some people really don't like this feature. I'll leave that up to you. And the other really big difference in my opinion is that with the Eve Cam, you have access to the Eve app and you have some more controls and functionality in there, whereas the Circle View camera, there is no other app at all. That just works exclusively with the Apple Home app. So what that means is with the Eve app, you have, like I said, a few more controls where you can change the sensitivity and things like that of the camera. You're also going to be able to get those firmware updates, and you'll see those firmware updates and just kind of be a little bit more aware, which I like that. I believe with the Circle View, I assume they're going to be doing firmware updates on those cameras too, but I believe those firmware updates will probably just be pushed out automatically. So, you know, if something ever changes or goes haywire with your setup or your camera, you may not even know why. It could be caused from a firmware update or something that you didn't even know about. So for that reason, I kind of like having the Eve app and being able to kind of do those firmware updates and stuff manually in the Eve app. So which one is better? Well, obviously, if you need an outdoor camera, go with the Circle View. The Eve Cam is only for indoors. For an indoor camera, I think both are actually great options. I'd probably go with the Eve Cam for indoors just because you know, I wouldn't want my kids to figure out that they can manually turn off the streaming and recording with that manual button on the Circle View, for one. Also, I do like having that Eve app that I explained earlier where I can get those firmware updates, you know, execute updates, and also have access to a little bit more control using the Eve app. But don't get me wrong, both of these are fantastic cameras, and I think it really just comes down to preference. I used the Logitech Circle 2 camera for a while, and then the Circle View camera recently has just been rock solid, and this Eve camera is, you know, in the same likeness as those. It's just a solid, good, well-built camera. So the Eve Cam is a little bit pricey, and you can certainly find cheaper options available out there now, but it's pretty safe to say that you will not be sacrificing quality when you get a camera like this. The camera has been very reliable for me in HomeKit. It just works, and it works well, which is really important. The image quality is good, and in addition to that, I really believe a lot of this, you're just paying for that commitment to privacy from Eve. You know, they do have a proven track record when it comes to their commitment to privacy. And for some people, paying a little bit more for that premium, for that commitment to privacy is going to be worth it to them, especially when you're talking about cameras that go inside your home. So what do you think? Would you pay a little bit more for a camera like this for these reasons? Drop some comments down below and let's talk about it. If you got something out of this video, please give it a thumbs up. That does help other people find this channel and these videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you don't miss out when we post these new HomeKit videos every Sunday right here. Thank y'all so much for joining me again this week, and until next time, we'll see y'all later.